Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Welcome back to another late night stream, another 10 p.m. show, at least in the UK. But I'm sure it'll be different times all around the world from wherever you are watching. Big up to everyone. Hope you've had a good weekend. I've had a great weekend. Just beating Rachel at Monopoly. Easy money. Hotels everywhere. Done and dusted. She said, "Oh, can I just stop now?" I said, "No, pay up. You landed on Vine Street. I want £1,000 right now." She coughed up 640. Game over. That felt a lot better. So just had my victory at Monopoly. Caps off a great weekend, and at least that's on a personal level. But on a footballing level, I think there's some interesting stuff going around. There's some interesting stuff. There's some new stuff as well that we haven't spoken about over the past couple of days. We have we've spoken about Delap. We've spoken a little bit about Sesko, but not too much, if I'm honest with you. We've spoken about a number of players. Mark Guehi as well being linked with Ipswich because the lap is coming the other way. We've been speaking about strikers. We've spoken briefly about wingers, and obviously centre backs as well as another position that has popped up in the past couple of days. Now, this is the situation at the moment. We've done our business early, and honestly, I can't really complain too much about that. So the question is, are we going to push on from that, or are we going to just stick to one signing? Although there is a link saying that the lap could be hijacked by Arsenal, which I think is a load of waffle. I don't think it's true whatsoever, but we'll go through it all. Anyway, let's go through the chat. Big up to Billy. Good to see you, mate. Big up to Jordan. Always a pleasure. Any news about a second striker? We're going to go through all of it, so don't worry. Ekatike as well. We're going to go through him, mate. £84 million, too much. That's my opinion on that. Are we going to get the lap announced? Him holding a Chelsea shirt? I don't know. We're facing LAFC. Loris is about to hold 7. Yes, this is for the Club World Cup, guys. So we do have an update on that. The opponent that we previously had, which was a Mexican side, obviously got kicked out of the competition for whatever reason. And LAFC are their replacements. That is, the LAFC is owned by Will Ferrell. So it's owned by Will Ferrell, which is a bit mad, really. So yeah, we're going to be playing against them. Carlos Vela. I don't know if you remember when he was on fire in the MLS a few years back. You had a rivalry between LAFC and LA Galaxy, and it was Ibrahimovic versus Carlos Vela. That's the way they hyped it up. They actually did those games on Sky as well, if I'm not wrong. I think, I can't remember. I feel like LA Galaxy did win it, but I'm not 100% sure. Good to see you, Nicky. Yes, Alex, big up, mate. Up the Chelsea Fan TV and up the Chelsea. Thank you, mate. Always a pleasure. Good to see you, Stephen. Did I have a good time with my dad? I had a great time with my dad. Very nice time in Poland. He's back home as well now, so that's good fun. Cheers, Alex. Champions of Europe. It's who we are, mate. Absolutely. Who are Arsenal, though? I mean, what are they? I was speaking to a guy at work, and I was going, it's funny, you finished second. What did you? I swear, Tottenham got a European trophy. Didn't Crystal Palace win the FA Cup? Yeah, I'm sure they did. Newcastle, they won a Carabao. Oh, yeah, we won a European trophy as well. But what did you win? What did you win? Sweet FA, mate. Rattled. All of them are rattled. Good to see you, Brendan. Always a pleasure, mate. I hope you're doing well. Jump on a call with me if you want next week. What position does Ekatike play as a striker, if I'm not wrong? If we get Nacho, then we could sell Mudryk for good, please. Well, that depends on whether his doping allegations are proven to be true or not. If he's found guilty, then we won't be selling him for anything. We will be kicking him out of the club, a bit like Pogba and Juventus. He will just get, what's the word? They'll just cut his contract, and they'll legally be allowed to do it. But if he's proven innocent, then he might stay at Chelsea, or potentially another club could potentially sign him. I agree with this one, Nicky. I want Gorkrest 60 mil, give him 150 a week. Happy days. I'm with you on that. Steven says the same old from Clown Lake, never change. Big up to Richard. I hope you're doing well. Ekatike is just a second Jackson, according to Ebnol. He says we don't need him. Olivier Giroud as well. He plays for LAFC. For those of you who don't know, he does play for LAFC. And Will Ferrell is a Chelsea fan. This is weird, isn't it? It's a bit of a weird situation, but I'm sure he'll be egging on LAFC instead of us just for that one. What's the owners seeing in Garnacho has been crap this season. If we sign him, I would be pissed. I can appreciate that. I guess from our perspective, like the club, I'm not talking about the fans. It's how much are you paying, and then they look at everything else. If the money side is good, then they tend to be all over that. But anyway, let's dive into it. Let's start off with this first article from Football Transfers. Now, I've seen a number of things from Football Transfers, and I have to say, just looking at this particular article, I mean, how can you take these guys seriously? I really don't know. So this is what they're saying on the article. It says that Arsenal were tipped to hijack Liam Delap deal despite Chelsea medical. It's according to Cameron Smith. Never heard of him. I don't get it. Why do they write these articles? I guess they do get attention, don't they? Ipswich Town forward Liam Delap has been told to join Arsenal despite the fact that his medical at Chelsea will take place on Sunday. The England under-21 international is on the verge of signing for Maresca's side for a fee of £30 million after the Blues agreed to trigger the release clause in his Ipswich contract, and he is expected to compete with Jackson for a starting spot next season. Ben Jacobs has revealed that Jackson will undergo his Chelsea medical on Sunday, despite initial reports suggesting it would take place on Monday, which is what I thought. And the deal is set to be confirmed during the pre-Club World Cup transfer window, which runs from the 1st until the 10th of June. Although Delap is now on the verge of joining Chelsea, he has been told to reject a move at Stamford Bridge in favour of joining Arsenal by former Aston Villa midfielder Lee Hendry. Lee Hendry, who the fuck is this guy? Who the hell is that? Lee Hendry, really? He told the Football League World, I think the way Chelsea work and the way the club has gone for quite some time, there's no doubt they're on the up and that they have a platform where they've brought a lot of players in, and obviously they've shipped a lot out as well. But I think if Liam Delap goes there, I'm pretty sure all the clubs will be sniffing around him. I personally think he should go to Arsenal because they're desperate for a centre forward. What a load of nonsense, guys. This is what I'm saying. Absolute waffle. We were desperate for a striker. It's the whole reason why we're signing this guy. So I'm not going to read any more of that pathetic article. Rubbish. Absolute nonsense. And honestly, that is so misleading. It's a disgrace. That is one of the worst articles I've ever seen. Ben Smith, you should be ashamed of yourself. Rubbish. According to The Guardian, it has come out that Chelsea have previously shown an interest in Sesko and could try to get involved if they miss out on other targets. Let me share my screen with you now. That's the quote there. And if we actually look what they've said on the article as well, See, I like the Guardian because they actually let you read, which I love. This particular article is all about transfers to look out for this summer. So I'll obviously only read the relevant ones. Mark Guehi is one of them from Crystal Palace. The England international has only 12 months left on the contract he signed when he joined Crystal Palace from Chelsea in 2021. And he's widely expected to leave Selhurst Park this summer. The big question is, where will he end up after seeing 4 massive bids from Newcastle rejected last year and another worth up to 70 million from Tottenham in January? Liverpool have also been strongly linked amid uncertainty over Konate's future, while Chelsea are thought to be considering an attempt to bring Guehi back to Stamford Bridge. There were reports that the 24-year-old is considering running down his contract at Selhurst Park after leading them to an FA Cup. But can Palace afford to turn down big money again? And I say to that, I don't think so. I don't think that they can. The reality is you've got to reinvest in other players. Use that money for something else. And it's good money, especially when you look at what you get if you don't sell him. You get sweet FA. You get nothing. Another player that they've got 2 more strikers here as well. Hugo Ekitike being one. He's got a hat-trick for France's under-21s against England in March. And the goal he scored against Tottenham in the Europa League underlined the former PSG striker's potential. Ekitike stepped up for Eintracht Frankfurt when Omar Marmoush joined Man City in January, ending the season with 22 goals and 48 appearances in all competitions. But a reported asking price of north of £80 million for the 22-year-old who started his career at Reims might prove too high for most potential suitors, who are thought to include Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man United. So those are the 3 clubs being linked with Ekitike at the moment. Another striker that I'm surprised we're not being linked with is Jonathan David from Lille. Why is nobody talking about this guy? His future has been a regular source of speculation over the past few windows. And the Canada striker's already confirmed he will finally leave Lille this summer when his contract expires. Newly crowned Italian champions Napoli appear to be in pole position to sign David, having held several rounds of talks with his representatives. Although Aston Villa, Tottenham, West Ham and Juventus have also shown interest, the 25-year-old has previously made no secret of his desire to play in the Premier League, which again, it makes me think, why are we not looking at this guy? So, I mean, what do you think, guys? What do you think about this guy? Everyone's saying he's going to Napoli, but why are we not even competing for him? Wagwan, Mr. Alex, your most loyal fan is here. Mr. Alex, you say I don't join your evening shows. Here I am. Donna, you know, I've got a bone to pick with you. I asked you about your loyalty. And you said, oh, what have I got to do? So I said, become a member of the channel. I found out a couple of days ago that you cancelled your membership. So I'm very disappointed in you, Donna, to be honest with you. And, you know, you haven't been jumping on my live shows. You'd rather go on with Nina than with me. What, just because you're asking Nina? See, that's not what we're looking for here. We need consistency, Donna. You can't turn up for one day and miss 3 or 4 days. That's not how this works. You don't get any consistency like that. So I just want to say, Donna, I'm very disappointed and I'm very upset. I didn't cancel my membership, but Mr. Levy has not paid my salary. Well, that sounds about right. But you did win the cup, so I think he can pay you. You're not employed by Jim Radcliffe, so I think you'll be fine. See what I mean, Amir? This is what I'm saying. Anyway, let's move on from Donna. You've got to prove your loyalty again, Donna, I'm afraid. You says we need to save money for transfers. Anyway, let's look at Alejandro Garnacho as well, another player from Manchester United that we've been linked with. There's a number of teams linked with him after being left out of Manchester United's matchday squad against Aston Villa on the final day by Ruben Amorim. Garnacho's potential availability has alerted several clubs looking for a potential bargain. The Argentina forward is expected to cost around 40 million if United allow him to leave, with Napoli, who tried to sign him in January, thought to be the early frontrunners. Chelsea have also been monitoring his situation. For me, this is a thumbs down. There are so many other players that I would rather sign. One of those players, I mean, if you're asking me about Garnacho, then you've also got Brian Mbeumo from Brentford. Now, Brentford aren't going to make it easy for any club who want to take a chance on, on Mbeumo. He ended the season with 20 Premier League goals, which is unreal. To be fair, that's really, really good. He's still got a year on his contract remaining, plus an option to extend by a further 12 months. Even if his manager, Thomas Frank, admitted after their win over Leicester that we are a selling club, so if someone comes in with the right price, that is probably within the region of £60 million. Man United and Newcastle are the main teams he's been linked with. I don't know why Chelsea aren't in that vicinity. I mean, how old is Mbeumo? Can someone let me know how old he is? Because I can't see his age. Also, you got Johan Visser as well, who missed out on matching Mbeumo, as they would have become the first year to score 20 goals for the same club in a single season since Salah and Sadio Mane in 2018-19. He's also expected to attract some interest. So let me know how old are those guys? How old is Mbeumo and how old is Visser from Brentford? Because those are good players, guys. Mbeumo is the one who really shines out to me. If you're talking about spending 40 million on Garnacho, then I just go, I'd rather get Mbeumo, to be honest. But yeah, nobody's speaking about them. Another player is Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig. He said, I want to play for a club that suits me and brings out the best in me. He said that this week. Now, it could be Arsenal. And, you know, he's been on their radar for a number of years. He's only scored 13 goals, one down on last year. RB Leipzig struggled in the Bundesliga, but he does fit the profile that Arsenal are looking for. And we've previously shown an interest in Sesko as well. We could try and get involved if we miss out on other targets. So that will be interesting to see. There's also got Nico Williams as well, but I mean, his wages are just extortionate. His release clause is only £49 million, so it's totally affordable in that sense. But the wages are just a joke. I mean, it's like Osman money. It's like 400 grand a week. Isn't it like 400k? It's something stupid. It's like 300. It's a joke. Like, the thing is that they don't buy players in Bilbao. They just develop the players from the local area. And that's why they're able to pay so much in salary. It's so strange. I mean, it's unique, I guess, but yeah. You prefer this, that's fair. Cy Morgan Rogers. And Mbeumo turns 26, so he's not too old. He's not too old. But yeah, so that's what we're seeing in that sense. Moving on. So that was the Guardian that we had there. They're saying that Alejandro Garnacho is expected to cost about 40 million. Yeah, not for me, guys. Not for me. Can't say I'm a big fan of that deal. Sky Sports have also come out. They've said Chelsea want to sign another young centre-back, and they like Mark Guehi, Jared Brathwaite, and Yoral Hato. I'll give you an idea of who these players are. Obviously, I'm sure you know who all of them are, but Mark Guehi, obviously, Crystal Palace. Captain as it stands, 24 years of age, performing to a very good level. He was fantastic in the cup final against Man City. Love his distribution. He's got enough pace on him. He's pretty strong. He's decent on the ball. Defensively, he's solid as well. I think he reads the game well. People say that his main weakness is in the air. Although if you did watch the cup final against City, I thought it was actually pretty good in the air. I haven't watched as many Palace games as I wanted to. So let me know if there's anything else you would suggest regarding him. And then Brathwaite, I would say, is probably more of an aerial presence. But for me, I'm pretty sure he's a little bit younger than Guehi, probably better. I think he's two-footed, Brathwaite. He's pretty good with both feet, isn't he? His distribution's good. But he's played in an Everton side that haven't really ever played out from the back properly. And I can't remember the last time I watched him playing for England. So I don't know if much changes on that side, but he's good with his feet. So both players for me are good profiles. Although if you've got Tosin and Brathwaite in there, I'd say you don't really need both of them, but I guess it's good to have some height. I'm leaning towards Mark Guehi. I think he's younger. I think he's got leadership qualities. He knows Chelsea, and he's got more experience in bigger competitions, i.e. the Euros. One of our best players in that competition when he did play. So for me, Mark Guehi is definitely a player that I would be looking at. And I think also cost-wise as well, when you look at what it's going to cost to buy Brathwaite, if I'm not wrong, it's like an extra 20 to 30 million, or at least that's what's been asked for him in the past. So I think you can get Mark Guehi for about 40 million, maybe 35 at a push if Palace really need the funds. And then Brathwaite I just see as a more expensive option. So if we want to be intelligent and smart, there's a number of deals that I would have done. I would have obviously gone for Dean Huijsen, but Madrid have snapped him up. And the other options were Mark Guehi and Jonathan Tah for me. Jonathan Tah has obviously gone to Bayern Munich, and that leaves you with one. So I still want him, and to be honest, I wouldn't mind another centre-back as well, because you're going to sell to Sassy. I don't think you've got enough quality with Badiashile. I don't think you have enough reliability in terms of Fofana staying fit. And that leaves you with who? Colwell. Chalobah's probably going to be sold for the right price. So you're going to need to replace these guys. I mean, in an ideal world, we just don't sell Chalobah, and that solves the issue. You just have more quality in that position. I also don't know why we haven't been speaking about a left back, although I think that's maybe where Yoral Hato comes in, because he can play on the left. He can play on the left as well as a centre back, if I'm not wrong. So Hato for me is also an attractive option, and that seems to be a little bit cheaper than both players. If I'm not wrong, he's going for about 30 million. He plays in the Dutch league as it stands, and he's another young player. So yeah, I don't have an issue with Guehi. I don't have an issue with Brathwaite. I don't have an issue with Hato. But if you said to me, who would you want to sign the most? I'd probably say number 1, Guehi, number 2, Hato, number 3, Brathwaite. And those factors are cost, in terms of Guehi, experience, played at a higher level, been consistent, knows Chelsea, and he's a captain in his own right. He's a leader. So I don't think there's anything wrong with having lots of leaders in the squad. That's always worked for us in the past. And then with Hato, I just think positionally he can cover for Cucurella if we needed to. I don't see that with Brathwaite. So that's why I would go in that particular order. Let me know that I'm not saying we replace Cucurella. I'm saying we have cover for Cucurella. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think that Bastoni would leave Milan for Chelsea. I really don't see how that would work. But he improves our defense, doesn't he? He improves our defense a lot. Aerially, yes, I can appreciate that he's not the best, but I think that he can offer, can still offer a lot. And again, you're talking about saving 20, 30 mil. So, yeah, there's different factors that we're looking at. If you look at aerial ability, then you would go with Brathwaite, wouldn't you? But there's a number of factors that go into that deal. And I always try and read the minds of what we would be thinking as a club, and what our priorities are. And the financial side is a huge priority. It is a huge priority. The Guardian said, he what's his name? Guehi was considering running down his contract to Selhurst, so maybe there's an opportunity to just get him on a free next season. But again, I don't see that happening. I think that they'll definitely receive bids, but whether they'll accept them is another story. Sky also reported that Chelsea also want a new left winger, with Mykhailo Mudryk likely to be missing for a while. You've got Nico Williams, Jamie Gittins, and Alejandro Garnacho on the list. Now, look, we can go through these players. I have no problem going through these players, but I think we have to be honest with ourselves here. And we have to say that there's only two realistic signings in here. And one of them is Garnacho, and the other one is Jamie Gittins. If anyone thinks in an honest world that we are going to get Nico Williams, then fair play to you, because I don't see it. I don't see how we get that deal done. Just on a financial level with the wages, it's just not possible to us. But let's presume that there is a chance. Let's be optimists here, and we can compare the players anyway, can't we? Now, let's start off with the player that we want. Okay, the one that we would prefer over everyone. Nico Williams is the one that I think most fans would agree they would prefer to have over Garnacho over the rest of them. So these are his stats from this season, Nico Williams. In La Liga, 29 appearances, 5 goals, 5 assists. Important to understand as well, guys, he's only started 58% of the games. So a number of those games, I presume, would have been... Actually, no, I presume a number of those games would have been off the bench, but we'll be able to see in a second. 10 GA in 30, so that's 1 in 3, roughly. Not bad for a young player. 7 in 13 in the Europa League. In the Copa del Rey, 1 in 2. And in the Super Cup, he didn't have any contribution. So that's Nico Williams' stats in that sense. Now, if we're looking at over the course of his value, etc., this is what he's valued at, and his release clause is significantly less than what he's valued at. A fair amount less. It's about 49 million quid. So slightly less. That's probably what, 55, 60 million euros. So you can get him a little bit cheaper than what he's worth here, but that doesn't seem to be the obstacle for a lot of teams. The obstacle seems to be the wages. He's a young player. He's 22. This is the kind of player Chelsea would be all over. But those wages are a real problem. In fact, let's see. What is Nico Williams' wages? Oh, actually, it's not as bad as I thought. Still not fucking great for us, though. Is that actually what it is? Okay. Well, it's gone a bit higher there. So I'm seeing between £170,000 and about £200,000. I thought it was more than that for some reason. I don't know why I thought it was more. About 200 grand a week in euros, is that? That's fair. I think he is a good option. Do you think he'll drop his wages though? I don't think he will. I think he'll want a pay rise. Absolutely, I agree. Why would he leave his boyhood club for a pay cut? Why would he come to Chelsea for a pay cut? You know, why would he do that? I just don't think he'd do it. I don't think he'd do it. Anyway, so when we look at what he's done this season, this is all competitions. This gives you a bit more of an understanding. 45 games, 11 goals, 7 assists. Okay, so 18 GA in 45. Okay, not the best, not the worst. It's all right, isn't it? It's okay. And you can see these are all competitions where the goals are coming from and how they're spread out. Relatively well spread out in the Europa League. He's been a good asset. If you go into the Nations League, he scored a goal there. Played a fair amount for Spain. And in La Liga, this is what he's had to offer. So a relatively quiet start to the season, although he didn't start all of the games. The first 12, he had 2 GA. Actually, it's been a pretty poor start to the season for him up until game week 24. I mean, up until that point, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4 GA in 23 games, but obviously he was injured for 2 of them. So that's not impressive, but he did pick up ever so slightly. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. He's getting a lot of injuries as well. He's had 9 games missed through injury. He had a groin problem and a hamstring problem. So when you look at that, I mean, that's never a good thing, is it? When you see players that are injured. I'm not saying that, you know, we shouldn't sign him because of it if we have the opportunity, but just looking at those stats, and we look at all of them, we'll see Garnachos and we'll see Gittins. I'm not massively impressed, to be honest. It's okay. It's all right, but it's not. It doesn't get you out of your seat, these numbers. It doesn't get you out of your seat. Now, if we look at Jamie Gittins, which is the next option, okay? Now, this is option that's realistic, number one, because I don't think that Nico Williams is realistic because I don't think he'll fit into our wage structure. So I don't really take that rumor seriously. But this is Jamie Gittins. 32 appearances in the Bundesliga, 12 GA. That's 8 goals, 4 assists. Starting slightly more than Nico Williams, 4 yellows. In the Champions League, he's got 5 in 14, starting a little bit more. And in the Cup, 2 games, no GA. So having a look at what he's done this season, this is really a breakout year for Jamie Gittins. So we've got 12 goals and 5 assists, so 17 GA and 48. Pretty similar to Nico Williams. What is, where are the goals coming? More goals in a similar amount of goals in the league. He is playing Champions League football as opposed to Europa League, so I'd say it's a bit harder to score goals there. I know Nico Williams had a fair few in the Europa League, and he had a great start to the season. He had a good start. He scored 2 against Frankfurt, Stuttgart, had a lovely period from game week 11, and then started to get a little bit more quiet when we were actually rumored with him. I mean, this is January time from game week 16, and after scoring in a 4-2 loss, he's had a very quiet spell and not really done much. He's only scored 1 goal since game week 18. And now we've obviously got to game week 34. So when I look at players that I think, what can you bring to Chelsea? And this is one thing, by the way, that Sesko does bring if he were to be a signing for us. I'm not advocating for the signing of Sesko, but I'm just saying this is what you see if you look at his stats. Sesko seems to be one of those players that ends the season really well. And that's quite an interesting one, because when you look at a lot of our players, they started the season really well, but they didn't necessarily finish the season well. Obviously, we won against Forest and we won the Conference League. That's a great team achievement, but I'm talking individually. And let's look at it from a goal scoring perspective, a GA perspective, as opposed to just performance. Because when we're looking at wingers, when we're looking at strikers, we want GA. ultimately. If you don't have players that put the ball in the back of the net, that is a factor that people always complain about. And, there are players that can get away with it a little bit more than others. I think Pedro Neto is one of those players because of some of the work he does off the ball. But we want to see more. And for me, Jamie Gittins this season doesn't justify a move to Chelsea. Doesn't justify it. And I just don't get it. I don't get why he would be the solution to our problems. Is he better than Mudryk, though? There's an argument for that. I've definitely heard that argument. Go on, let's see what has Fabrizio done a new tweet. All right, let's have a look at his tweet. Chelsea remain in contact with Jadon Sancho's camp over contract terms. Still no agreement in salary so far, on the salary so far. Final decision will be in a few days. Outcome expected next week. If contract terms are not agreed, Sancho will go back to Manchester United with £5 million of compensation. So that is the news with regard to Sancho. Doesn't surprise me at all. Chelsea obviously looking for a bargain. Sancho fighting for every single penny that he can get. The only problem is, mate, you have to understand Chelsea at the moment are a financial institution. We are ran by people that are driven by money. So if you think that we are going to accept anything similar to what you were on at Man United, which is close to 300 grand a week, then I think you have the wrong idea about what this football club is about. And this is a very fair point. But the thing is, Peter, we won't pay Sancho 250 grand. We won't do it. Oh my God. To be honest with you, I'd be a bit like, even 150, I'd be like, really? You want to pay Sancho more than Cole Palmer, more than Moises Caicedo? Actually, I think that's probably about what Caicedo's on anyway. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not for me, guys. Not for me. If he's holding out for more cash, then fair play to you. Listen, I don't have a problem with Sancho. I don't think he's had a bad season. I don't think he's had a great season. He's had some great moments, and it was a nice way to finish off winning the Conference League. But you have not proven yourself to be a reliable starting left winger. You've proven yourself to be a good squad player. And at this point, I'm not bothered. Honestly, he can go. Doesn't affect me. Doesn't bother me. But then I ask you this in the chat as well, guys. You don't renew the contract with Jadon Sancho, and then you sign Garnacho. Is that an upgrade for you? Is Garnacho an upgrade on Jadon Sancho? Is Jamie Gittins an upgrade on Jadon Sancho? Who is an upgrade on Jadon Sancho? And be realistic as well, because I really don't believe we're going to get Nico Williams. So I struggle to take that seriously. If you think Nico Williams, then fair enough, but I just don't see how we get that deal done. I mean, we're haggling over Sanchez for wages, and we can get him for 20 million, and you're going to tell me that we're going to pay 49 for Nico Williams, and we're going to pay him what? 200 grand a week? That's not going to happen. No way. You don't want Sancho, but you want Gyökeres. Well, that's fair. I think everyone would agree with Gyökeres, definitely. Aiden says, I don't mind Sancho as a backup winger. Nicole says, support Sancho. Ebnal says, depends on the transfer fee. So what transfer fee would you accept? The lowest being realistically what? Realistically, 30 million? 35, 40 million? That's probably the baseline, maybe going up to 45. So I think we're looking between 30 and 45 mil as a realistic fee. I mean, obviously we go, oh, but we'll pay 20 million. But Jim Radcliffe, listen, the man is not selling him for 20 million. Garnacho just signed a new contract. United will hold on to him and wait until they can make a profit. Aiden says that Garnacho is better than Sancho. Fair enough. Vlad disagrees. He says he's worse than Sancho, but at the same time, we need to keep in mind that United is a graveyard for players. Look at Anthony Case. That is very true. Although I think we can all agree we probably wouldn't sign Anthony if we had the option. You don't want Garnacho. He's got bipolar. We don't want Baby Lurch. Jay, good to see you, mate. He says, these owners, man, we got Cherky on our cut price, and this incompetent board are monitoring Garnacho. Rachel says, as long as Palmer, Neto, Caicedo, and Chalobah stay put, I'm happy, but unsure whether he will stay. I hope that Chalobah stays as well. I'm with you on that one. Christian says there's news on Ekatike. I can really see Jackson leaving. Although the other solution is play Jackson on the wing and see how that goes. Is that not an option? Rodriguez for left wing. Which Rodriguez are we talking about? You talk about Rodrigo. Which Rodriguez are we talking about? Why not bring in Yorkeres? Let Sancho go. Delap and Yorkeres as our strikers. Jackson could play left wing with Madueke or Neto or Gio. Fair enough, guys. It's safe to say that I think generally people are quite mixed on Sancho, but I think we can agree that he's not worth the money he's on at Man United. He needs to take a significant pay cut. We are all in agreement about that. I think so. I think we're all in agreement about that. I mean, if we look at Sancho's, what he's brought to Chelsea this season, Sancho's been okay, as we've already said, and he's come out of it with a trophy as well. But these are his numbers. In the Conference League, he's performed exceptionally well, but you wouldn't expect anything less in a league like that. 7 and 8 is really good. Okay, for a rotation option, it's lovely. In the Premier League, he obviously struggles much more. He's involved in the starting 11 50% of the time, and he's got 8 in 31 appearances, 8 GA. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not, it's not terrible. It's all right. Okay, but it's not really what we're looking for. This is not the player you lean on when the times are tough. In the Cup, that's what he'd done in the FA Cup, but that was for Man United, if I'm not wrong anyway. So that's what Sancho has done. And again, looking at where the goals are coming from in periods, where are the goals coming from? Are they consistent? We can see in the Conference League, 2 assists against Heidenheim, lots of assists as well. Got Warsaw twice. He got Ugarden. He's having a great time in the Conference League. He's loving it. In the Prem, obviously he was there for United for a bit. This is what he did in the Premier League. He had a great start. He was 007 at United, but not at Chelsea. In his first 3 games, he got 4 assists, which is obviously brilliant. Slightly quiet patch, and then getting another goal against Southampton and Tottenham, and then a beautiful assist against Crystal Palace, which we all loved. And from that point onwards, it just got a bit quiet, didn't it? From game week 21 until game week 31, 10 games without anything. And the guy's playing a decent amount of minutes as well. It's not like he's coming off the bench every game. Ipswich, you got a goal. It's not really enough, is it? Let's be honest, it's not enough. You cannot justify the money that he wants based on these performances. You can't justify it. If you're going to be a rotation option for us, then you're not going to be on the bigger money. You're not going to be on bigger money than Cole Palmer. I just find it embarrassing that people believe that we should pay this guy anything, within the vicinity of Cole Palmer. If you pay him 150, the excuse you make is he still made a massive pay cut, but that's 20 grand more than Cole Palmer. This is on his pre-Champions League wage as well. This might be another factor as well with Jadon Sancho. Maybe one of the reasons he's haggling over the contract is he doesn't want to join on incentivized terms. He just wants a flat paycheck that never changes, whether Chelsea are in the Champions League, Europa League, or whatever it is. Everybody else has accepted it. He hasn't. And again, if he doesn't accept it, More reason to not go with it. Don't do it if that's the way you see it. And yeah, I just don't see. Yeah, I just don't see why we should be looking at anything else. This is Garnacho. Okay, this is the other option. This is the realistic option, apparently, as well. Although I think there's a good chance Napoli will get him because they seem to have promised Antonio Conte that they'll spend loads of money. 58 appearances in all competitions, 21 GA. He's playing a lot of games. He's playing a lot of football, which is always important for any young player that's developing. Has he improved a lot since last season? Let's have a look. 21 in 58. And then he got 17 in 50. So it's pretty similar in terms. He played 8 games less. And yeah, I mean, he's not really improved that much. He's played more games, though. He's played more games this season than last season, Garnacho. So that's what he's been doing in the Premier League. He's been involved in 36 games, and he's got 8 GA in 36. Not as good as Gittins, it's not as good as Sancho either, is it? I don't think it is. That's the same as Sancho, 8 GA. Yeah, girl, it's just not really 8 GA and 36. I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at, and we're saying, what does Alejandro Garnacho bring that we can't get from another player? I'm not really sure. Even if you look at Jamie Gittins, he's got 12 and 32, and he's scoring in the Champions League, playing at the highest level. I mean, I'm more attracted to Gittins than Garnacho, but I'm not attracted to Gittins. I don't look at him and think, oh, you're the man. I did in January because he was playing great. Hindsight's a great thing. This is what he's done over the season in the Europa League. Garnacho, he got a number of assists. Actually, he's performed relatively well from sort of the end of the group stages. Had a little patch. In the Premier League, his goals and assists have been spread out. I mean, there's only 8 of them, so they can't be spread out that much. And which games did he do it in? He did it against Fulham off the bench, Southampton off the bench, scoring. Brentford scored the winning goal. Leicester, Newcastle, Brentford. So I wouldn't call Garnacho a big game player. He scored against the relegation team. He's been involved in goals from relegation teams, once, twice, 3 times. Yeah, 3 out of his 8 goals were against Leicester and Southampton. I don't know, man. In the cup, that's what he's done. He did all right in the EFL Cup. I'll give him that. He scored against Barnsley and Leicester. Classic. It's just not appealing, is it, guys? It's just not appealing. You don't look at Garnacho and think this is the player I want. But let me know. Maybe you disagree with that. Maybe you think that Garnacho is the solution, and he is the man who can help us. Maybe that's the way you feel. I don't know. What I do know is we've got over 110 people in the building, and we've got 56 likes, guys. Smash that like button. Let's get straight up to 80. Let's get up to 80 likes on the live. I appreciate everyone that's jumped on from the beginning, and obviously everyone that's hopped on recently as well. Big up to all of you, and thanks for the support as well. Really appreciate it. Smash that like button. Let's get straight up to 80, and see if we can get up to 100 towards the end of the stream as well. Let's go. What else have we got, guys? What else have we got? So we've spoken about Mark Guehi. We've spoken about Jarrett Brathwaite. We've spoken about the situation with the wingers. which seems to be just very strange, to be honest, our ambition on that front. Now, we have had some more news, whether it's from a reliable source or not. I don't know if you know, caught offside. It says Chelsea and I in dialogue with Ekatike and have the winning poker hands. That's what they're saying at the moment. So let's share my screen with you. Chelsea are firmly in the lead for Hugo Ekatike. They're already in dialogue with the players' side and could soon get serious. But Liverpool are also in the race, despite the upcoming record transfer of Florian Wirtz. Obviously, we're both looking for a lot of players. We're trying to get rid of Nkunku as well. They're saying that Ekatike could represent a wise investment, and this is a big could, to be honest with you. But they are saying that we're ahead of Liverpool for Ekatike. Obviously, they've got to first get Florian Wirtz. That seems to be their priority signing. But Liverpool don't seem to be interested in meeting the £84 million price tag. But according to Christian Falk, we are firmly in the lead for Ekatike. That's what he's saying. This is, I think he's a German source. He does a lot of stuff with Bayern Munich, if you look at his Twitter page. Chelsea, Liverpool, and Arsenal were previously considered the top favourites for Hugo Ekatike, but the three-man competition has now turned into a two-club battle. That's exclusively informed by Court Offside, apparently. They're saying, at the moment, Chelsea, who qualified for the Champions League in fourth place, hold the best cards in the Ekatike poker. Chelsea are already in dialogue with the players' side and can soon get serious. But Liverpool are also still in the race, despite the upcoming transfer of Florian Wirtz. According to this as well, they're saying that Darwin Núñez is yesterday's news. So it seems like Liverpool will be open to selling Darwin Núñez. If you actually look at the goal contributions this season as well, it's mad. In all competitions, Nkunku has better goal contributions than Jota, Núñez, and Jackson. He's got 19, Jackson's got 18, Núñez has got 14, and Jota's got 13. Now, I've criticised Nkunku, obviously, a number of times, especially since January. He deserves criticism. He's lacked effort, hasn't he? He's lacked commitment. But, you know, I've criticised Maresca heavily as well. I think the way that he managed this player was really poor. And I think that, to be honest with you, Nkunku could still have a big part to play in this Chelsea side. And we've decided to prioritise Nicholas Jackson over this guy, who, by the way, I like Jackson as well. But I think if you're just looking at finishing quality, end product, I don't think that it's even close between Nkunku and Jackson. We all know that Nkunku's a better player. He's just not a better player for Chelsea for whatever reason. But whichever club he goes to, I know he's been linked with Tottenham. He's also been linked with PSG. He's been linked with clubs in Germany as well. I think wherever the guy goes, he's going to have a great time and he's going to score goals. That's honestly how I feel about Nkunku. But we'll have to wait and see. And I don't think we'll get a great fee for him. We certainly won't be making a profit on the Frenchman. So again, just going back to what we were saying before about the Club World Cup. For those of you who missed earlier on, we were talking about LAFC. Chelsea will kick off the FIFA Club World Cup campaign against Los Angeles FC after the American side defeated Club America in a playoff. Former Chelsea striker Olivier Giroud is on the books of LAFC, so he will be reunited with the Blues. And I just want to say I love Giroud, and I think Giroud was a great striker for Chelsea. I've got nothing but good things to say about that guy. He was a great signing as well. You know, you can sign players who are older than 30, and they can still turn out to be very, very good. And Giroud is a great example of a player we got from Arsenal. We paid about 18 million for him. And he seems to be worth the money because ultimately he helped our team a lot. And, you know, he scored some crucial goals. I don't know if you remember that amazing dribbling sequence against Southampton in the FA Cup semi-finals when he scored that great goal. That was one of the great moments he had. We had a moment where I think we were playing Southampton and we were down 2-0. We came back and won that game 3-2 with Antonio Conte. Giroud scored there. Lots of good memories, to be honest with you. Lots of good memories. I actually had the honor and the privilege of meeting Giroud in the elevator in Sweden in the hotel when we were playing Malmo away. Maurizio Sarri was our manager. The next game after we lost 6-0 to Man City. I mean, you can't forget that one, can you? When we lost 6-0 at the Etihad, and we were sat in the elevator with Giroud, me and my dad. We were like, "Oh, you're all right." Anyway, he was like, "Oh, my dad was like, what was he like?" He said, "Oh, shame about the result the other day. Just lost 6-0, by the way." And Giroud went, "Yes, sorry about that." And we were like, "Yeah, just beat Malmo, please." Anyway, we got a picture with him. He was a nice bloke, very classy fella. And I remember going to Cobham training ground as well and seeing, Conte used to do a lot of running exercises. And I remember watching Giroud. He was very, very good in those drills, pushing a lot of the younger lads forward. Just a good player, a great goal scorer. He's good at linking up play as well, getting other people involved. And nothing but good things to say regarding the Frenchman. It seems like Delap is going to be doing his medicals. I mean, they're saying he's already doing his medical as we speak. Who knows? It was reported originally that he was going to do his medical on Monday, but maybe we've done something there. There's been an update on Liam Delap by David Ornstein with The Athletic as well. I'll share this article come out very recently. Chelsea reach agreement with Liam Delap on personal terms, set to sign a 6-year deal. Chelsea have reached an agreement with Liam Delap over personal terms, and the striker will join from Ipswich Town on a contract that runs until 2031, subject to completing his medical checks. A deal was already in place between the clubs for Chelsea to activate a £30 million release clause after the 22-year-old picked Stamford Bridge as his next destination from a host of big-name options. Chelsea are planning for the striker to undergo his medical on Monday before completing the transfer, as reported by The Athletic. The Athletic reported on the 29th of May that the two clubs had reached an agreement for the transfer of the 22-year-old. They met the release clause in Delap's contract, which became active upon Ipswich's relegation from the Premier League. And blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so it seems like Delap's going to have a 6-year contract. And to be honest, I'm surprised it's not 7. That seems to be the number these days that we see. I'm sure Badiashile was on like an 8-year deal. But it's one of those things at Chelsea where if you perform, you will get that extension and you will get that pay rise. And that's what we're trying to negotiate with Moises Caicedo at the moment. So I hope we can get that deal done. Palmer's already signed it. Fernandez is on a long-term deal. We've given Jackson an extension, and Jackson's certainly not been better than Caicedo. But, it seems like the player's happy. And I say this with everything. Strike while the iron is hot. The guy must be loving life. He's just won a Conference League with us. He's seen the progression at Chelsea since he's arrived. We're not the Chelsea of old, obviously. We finished 12th. We finished 6th in his first season. And then we've gone on and we finished 4th with a European Cup as well. So I think there's worse situations to be in as a player. And I think ultimately, looking at the players around him who are also on long-term deals, it would encourage you to stay. And I would be surprised if that wasn't the case with Moises Caicedo. So I hope he signs a new deal. And then we've got a stacked midfield. We've got Asugo coming in. We've got Santos. We've got Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo Fernandez as well. I mean, so that's a world-class midfield. That's the best midfield in the Premier League. We cannot deny that. It's the best midfield in the Premier League, and anyone who disagrees with me, I don't know who has a better midfield from us in terms of that sense. So much depth, so much quality. Also, I want to say a big shout out to everyone that's watching. We've got almost 120 of you in the building. Only 70 likes, though. Let's get up to 80 likes on the video, guys. Smash that like button. I mean, ideally, I want 100, but you can't have it all in life, can you? And subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. I really appreciate everyone watching. I'll run through a couple of comments. Aiden says, I watched the LA FC game last night. They have pace, but their defensive structure is awful. Should be at least a 3-0 win. That's fair, isn't it? Esteval will be playing the FIFA Club World Cup with Palmeiras, and then he'll be a Chelsea player next season. Looking forward to seeing him. I am as well, absolutely. Napoli are front runners, but Chelsea are monitoring Garnacho is expected to cost about 40 million. Mark's a well-known source that stated that Alonso wants wants to stay and seen him as a key member. Which Mark are we talking about here? Sorry, I'm not sure which Mark you're on about. Mark who? The last article I read was David Ornstein. Oh, we're talking about. Oh, you talking about Marco or Marca, the Spanish newspaper? I see. Anyway, listen, guys, appreciate all of you. I'm going to do another stream tomorrow at 1 p.m. I look forward to jumping on. We're going to have all of the latest news. Until then, big up to all of you. We will catch up very soon. Enjoy.